What's up everybody, it's Logan from Sleepopolis.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Idle Air. I'm going to be giving you some recommendations, my complaints about the mattress, who I think would benefit from the Idle Air and who should stay away. Basically everything you need to know, so stay tuned if you want to know if the Idle Air is right for you. I'm going to be running a few tests you won't see anywhere else to help you get a better idea of what the Idle Air is all about, but if there's anything I don't cover, just leave a note in the comments section below. Now, a few things right off the bat. I previously reviewed the Idle Hybrid Latex mattress, and we're going to talk about that a little later on in the review. Now, the Idle Air refers to the air chambers inside of this adjustable bed that you can control the fill of. We'll go over that a little bit later as well. And finally, the Idle Air for queen and king size mattresses actually has the option to either be single or double chamber. So if you sleep with a partner, you and your partner can have different fill sections on the bed. But enough about all that. Let's jump into bed and talk about what the Idle Air actually feels like. Now I want to talk about what it feels like to actually lie in an Idle Air, and what I usually talk about during this section is the firmness of the mattress, and I generally give a number out of 10, but because the Idle Air is adjustable and depending on how much air you actually fill into it, you will get a different firmness level. So basically the Idle Air goes from a 0 at the low end of the firmness section all the way up to a 50 for the most air you can fill into this mattress. Now when you're at like a 10, which is towards the low end, I found it to be in that like 4.5 out of 10 range on the firmness scale, so that's pretty soft. And if you go all the way up to the 50 fill, which is the most filled you can make the Idle Air, I found it get all the way up to kind of like an 8 out of 10 firmness, 7.5, 8 out of on the firmness scale, so that's pretty firm. Now, regardless of how much you fill the Idle Air, there's going to be a foam top right here in the kind of mattress topper area, and that either has a memory foam section on top or a latex section on top. We're going to talk about the materials a little later on, but depending on whether you like more of a memory foam or latex feel, you can actually flip that foam feel on top. The memory foam, you're going to sink in a little bit more. Latex, you're going to get a little bit more buoyancy out of it. In terms of positionality, if you're a back sleeper, you're pretty good no matter what. You might want to stay right in the medium area, like a 30 fill, which is going to give you that like 6.5 out of 10 range, right in that combo sleeping area. If you're a strict side sleeper, you're probably going to want to go a little bit softer. I don't know if you're going to want to go all the way down to 10 because you do sink in pretty far at that point, but you will probably want to stay towards the softer side of the fill here on the Idle Air. And if you're a strict stomach sleeper, I'm assuming you're going to want to stay more towards the firmer end of the spectrum in that like 40 to 50 range on the fill, just to get a little bit more support in the hips. Now, instead of just describing the feel of the Idle Air to you, I wanted to give you a more objective view of what it's going to feel like to you. So I run a couple tests. Now, the first test that I run on all mattresses is the pressure map test, and in that I basically lay a pressure map on top, lie down in a few positions, and you'll see the results next to me ranging from blue for low pressure to red for high pressure. Now, much like the feel section, because the Idle Air is adjustable, this one is kind of a special case. So I did run this test on the 10, 30, and 50 fill sections to give you kind of a wide range of what we're looking at. Now, lying on my back, it's pretty much the same regardless of the fill. Like I say in a lot of my reviews, we're not really gonna see too much difference in pressure points lying on your back. We're really just looking if something does stick out, but nothing really stuck out here on the Idle Air, so that's a good thing. Now, rolling onto my side is where you tend to see big differences in the pressure map. Generally, we're gonna see more in the yellow range or possibly even red range on firmer mattresses if I'm on my side at the shoulders, the hips. That's why you're looking for softer mattresses. Now, there is kind of a softer foam pillow top here on the Idle Air, so regardless of the fill, you are gonna get some pressure relief up there. I was actually pretty impressed that it did pretty well on the pressure map portion of the review when I was lying on my side in all of them, the 10, 30, and 50 fill, so that's soft, medium, and firm on the Idle Air. And finally, rolling onto my stomach. Again, my weight's pretty evenly distributed. It doesn't really show too much because of that. There's not really gonna be any specific pressure point, but I can tell you that when I was on my stomach on the lower fill and like the 10 and the 30 range, I did feel my hips sink into the mattress, so that's something to be careful of. If you are a strict stomach sleeper, you're probably gonna wanna fill it up into that 40 to 50 range to get more hip support. Now, usually during this portion of the review, I run a singage test to decide whether you're gonna feel more on top of or sunken into bed. Now, the difference here is that because of the Idle Air's ability to customize with different air fills, it really depends on which setting you have it set at, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to give you exact inches of singage into the mattress. I will say There is that nice soft pillow top on top of the mattress, so you will feel a little sunken into bed regardless. Now, if you're on the lower end of the spectrum with like the 0 to 30 range on the air fill, I definitely think you're going to feel more sunken into it, especially if you're a stomach sleeper. I would be careful with those lower ranges because I did feel my hips sink into the mattress a little bit. However, if you're on that higher range, the 40 to 50 range, I think you're going to feel more on top of bed. You're going to be able to change positions, roll around without feeling stuck in the mattress. Now, in terms of bounce, I will say there isn't a ton of bounce because of that soft pillow top there. There's no springs or coils in this mattress, so you don't really get a lot of springy action there, but I didn't feel too stuck in the mattress. On the lower ends in that like 10 to 30 range, you will feel a little bit further into the mattress, but it was still able to change positions. Now, another test that I run is the motion transfer test. Basically, take that 10-pound steel ball behind me, drop from heights of 4, 8, and 12 inches to simulate someone kind of getting into and out of bed, rolling around in the middle of the night. And on the other side of the mattress, I put a seismometer down, and that measures the disturbance measured across the mattress. Now, I tested this at the fill levels of 20 and 40 to get a little bit of a soft to firm range, and I gotta say that I was pretty impressed on the soft side of things. It had pretty good results on the motion transfer test. It did a good job of isolating that motion transfer. On the firmer end of the spectrum, it was kind of expected. Firmer mattresses are going to transfer a little bit more disturbance. I think the Idle Air does a pretty good job of isolating that motion transfer, especially this version, which has that dual air chamber technology, so it does separate out the disturbance a little bit. Now, I wanted to show you the materials that are used inside of the Idle Air because there is a lot going on here. So first I'm going to start with the cover, which is quilted with some foam right on top, so you get some initial softness, some initial sinkage that we were talking about right off the bat. That's good for pressure relief. Now below that, we have kind of this foam pillow top layer. And what you'll notice here is there are two foams, and what's interesting about this layer is that it's flippable. So the one that we have up right now is the memory foam layer. You can see it's got that slow response to pressure. With memory foam, you're gonna sink into it. You're gonna feel that contouring around your body, get that nice hug that a lot of people like out of memory foam. Now the other side is latex layer, which is kind of almost the opposite of a memory foam. It's not too firm, so you're still going to be able to sink in for pressure relief, but it has a good bounce to it, some good mobility, a little bit more buoyancy. Going to be able to change positions, and people say that latex is a bit better at dissipating body heat, whereas memory foam might trap it a little bit. Now, I will say that flipping this layer is a little bit annoying, so you're probably only going to want to do it once, like test it out, only do the change one time. Now, underneath that, you can see we have kind of a transition layer of polyfoam. It's kind of zoned. I don't know if you can really tell that much about it, but it's kind of a transition between these foams on top and the air bladders below, which is what gives Idle Air its air name. Now this is what actually kind of inflates and deflates as the support to give it more of a firm or soft feel. So you can see that in this one we have kind of the dual option here, where on one side you can have a different firmness from the other side. If you get the single, this will just be one big kind of air bladder across the whole thing. Now you notice there is some foam around the entirety of this support air bladder system. That's kind of a high density polyfoam edge support system, which is going to give you stronger support at the edge so you don't feel like you're going to collapse the side, roll out of bed, or anything like that. Now, if you're watching this review for the Idle Air, I'm assuming you're also checking out a few other mattresses. So I want to talk briefly about some competitors out there. And the biggest name in kind of the air chamber adjustable bed market is definitely Sleep Number. Now, Idle compares themselves directly to the Sleep Number's i10 and i8. And in terms of construction, these mattresses are pretty similar with kind of the air chamber support underneath, a nice foam comfort layer on top. Now, one advantage that I think these Sleep Number mattresses have is their Sleep IQ app, which does some fun sleep tracking things, as well as allows you to control the firmness and feel from the app itself. However, a big advantage that the Idle Air has is that it is much less expensive than the Sleep Number mattresses. Now, before I finish the review, I want to give you some of my pros and cons for the Idle Air. So first up, some of my recommendations on why I think it'd be a good choice for you is if you are looking for adjustability. Obviously, if you're looking at an air chamber adjustable bed such as this one, you're looking for something that can control the different firmness of the mattress. A group of people that we hear often likes to change what the feel of the mattress is are pregnant women out there whose tastes and choices in mattress firmness really change throughout their pregnancy. So if you are someone who likes to vary the firmness of the mattress, this could be a good choice. Another reason I really like the Idle Air is it gives you this kind of split chamber technology on queen and king size mattresses. Now you can just get it in one chamber across, so it'll only one adjustable setting for the entire mattress. However, for queen and king size mattresses, you can get 2 chambers. So if you share your bed with a partner, they like a firmer option, you like a firmer option, softer, whatever it is, you can actually have it split for queen and king mattresses. And I gotta say, when I tested it for myself, it didn't really affect the firmness of my side of the bed when someone else changed the firmness of their side of bed, so that's definitely a huge plus. Now, the third reason I would recommend the Idle Air is the value. A lot of these mattresses can cost quite a bit because of the kind of machinery and tech inside of them, but if you're looking for a value option in the kind of air chamber adjustable market, the Idle Air will definitely provide that. Now, some of my complaints about the Idle Air that came out through my testing is, one, I think the remote's a little buggy. I found it to be a little slow to respond and didn't always go or stay at the setting that I was hoping it would stay at. It has like a memory feature, but if you're just trying to push up and down on the remote to find exactly where you're looking for, I found it to be a little sticky, so that was a little upsetting. You'd think at this point they'd have kind of an app or something like that. In terms of the dual chamber version of the mattress that I tested here, I found that it kind of bubbled in the middle. I think by nature, if you do have it set to, one side's much firmer than the other, you're gonna end up kind of having like a little bit of a valley there that's gonna roll off. But when I had it even kind of both filled to the same level, I found it kind of bubbled at the middle, which was a little strange. And 3, when I was laying on the mattress for a little bit of time, I did find that it lost a little bit of air, which I do think would be an issue for kind of an air chamber mattress such as this one. Now, if you're interested in buying an Idle Air, I want to give you some purchasing information on the mattress. Now, in terms of a trial, there is a 120-night trial, so you can have it in your home for up to 4 months, deciding whether or not you want to keep it or send it back. In terms of a warranty, it comes with a lifetime warranty. You want to check out exactly what that covers before you purchase it, but that is pretty impressive. A lot of online mattresses only come with like a 10-year warranty, so lifetime's pretty good. Now, in terms of shipping, it will ship free, and it comes compressed in a box, which I thought was a pretty nice feature for an Idle Air mattress such as this one. Now, in terms of price, the queen size mattress that I tested comes in at $2,249. So that's it for my review of the Idle Air. If there's anything I didn't cover, just leave a comment below. If your mattress search continues, subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to keep putting out more mattress reviews to help you find the best bed for you. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter so you don't miss any of our sleep news or our giveaway announcements, and check out sleepopolis.com for all of your sleep needs.